Hi, we recap here. Today's movie is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Spoiler ahead. The film starts in an icy wasteland. A carriage brings an orc-like creature to a prison, where he meets his cellmates, the bard Edgin, Chris Pine, and the barbarian Holga. The orc attempts to make a pass at Holga, who responds by breaking his knees and smashing his face. The following day, Edgin and Holga are brought before the Absolution Council to state their case for an appeal for their pardon. Edgin begins by telling his backstory to the council to give context for why he and Holga are there. Years ago, he was a member of the Harper's faction, a group of spies that fought against evil. Edgin was married to Zia, and had a daughter, Kira. Tragedy struck when a group of red wizards attacked Edgin's home and killed Zia, leaving him a widowed father. He turned his back on the Harpers as he struggled to provide for himself and Kira. He met Holga, who was banished from her tribe for falling in love with an outsider. Despite trying to live honestly, Edgin and Holga resorted to thievery, and Holga became like a surrogate parent to Kira. Edgin and Holga later teamed up with rookie sorcerer Simon, Justice Smith, and the rogue forge Fitzwilliam, Hugh Grant, to steal from others. Things changed when they met a wizard named Sophina, Daisy Head, who requested their help to rob a Harper stronghold filled with riches. While Edgin refused at first, Forge convinced him when he mentioned the keep contained the tablet of reawakening, which Edgin realized he could use to bring Zia back to life. The plan went sour when Sophina's true intentions were revealed, and she used a time-freezing spell to trap Edgin and Holga. Edgin gave Forge the tablet and asked him to look after Kira, while Simon also managed to escape. Edgin finishes the story as he waits for a council member named Jarnathan, Clayton Grover, a bird-like creature, to arrive. Once he does, Edgin and Holga use Jarnathan to break through the window and fly out, even though the council had approved their pardon. Now free, the two thieves resolve to find Forge so Edgin can reclaim the tablet and get Kira back. They go to a pub and find a flyer revealing that Forge is now Lord of Neverwinter. The duo travels to Neverwinter, which is preparing for the annual High Sun Games. They reunite with Kira, who is more excited to see Holga, whom she calls Bug, than her own father, as she believes Edgin abandoned her for selfish reasons. They meet with Forge, who used the stolen riches to make himself Lord of Neverwinter. Forge also reveals that Sophina is working with him as his advisor. Edgin learns that Forge has been telling Kira that he was arrested for stealing riches, not because of the Tablet of Reawakening. When Edgin and Holga attempt to confront Forge, Sophina uses her magic to trap them. Forge has them captured by his guards, but Sophina orders their execution. Holga fights off the guards, allowing them to escape again. They decide they need to plan a heist to get Kira out of Forge's castle, but they'll need a team. With the High Sun Games coming up, other lords will bring their riches to Forge's vault, where the tablet is, and they can use the wealth to pay their team. Edgin and Holga find Simon, who is performing magic tricks as a diversion while stealing from the audience. After nearly getting himself killed, Simon agrees to help take down Forge but warns that the place will be heavily guarded. He suggests they seek help from a druid named Doric, Sophia Lillis. They find Doric, who doesn't trust humans due to her own abandonment. She agrees to help because Forge has imprisoned or killed her people for questioning his rule. Meanwhile, Sophina speaks to her master, the Lich Shastam, about their ultimate plan, which involves using Forge. Doric shapeshifts into a fly to spy on Forge's meeting with other lords. She reports back that Forge's vault is protected by the arcane seal of Mordenkainen, which Simon doubts he can break unless he possesses the Helmet of Disjunction, long thought missing. Holga recalls that her people fought the Cult of the Dragon, who may know its location. The team visits Holga's ex-husband, Marleman, Bradley Cooper, to collect some items before heading to a graveyard. Using Simon's magic, they briefly revive corpses to learn the helmet was passed to Zenkyender, Reggae Jean Page, a paladin who opposed the Red Wizards. Though Edgin distressed Zank, since Red Wizards killed Zia, the others vouch for his heroism. They witness Zank saving a child from a sea creature and ask for his help. He agrees after Edgin promises to distribute Forge's wealth to Neverwinter's people. Zank leads them to the Orifice, an underground city where the helmet is hidden. After navigating traps and a bridge collapse, saved by a hither-thither staff, they retrieve the helmet, only to be attacked by Thayans, Red Wizard Undead, and a fat dragon, Embark. Zank stabs the dragon, but it survives and traps them in a flooding cavern. Edgin devises a plan for Holga to provoke the dragon while Simon blasts an escape route. After making it to the shore, Zen bids the others farewell as he returns home. Simon attempts to take control of the helmet, finding himself meeting his ancestor Elminster armor, who doubts Simon's capabilities and doesn't allow him to attune with it. Simon keeps trying for hours but continues to get rejected. The team's morale is brought down, and Simon and Doric plan to leave, but Edgin does his best to keep their spirits up. However, he admits to them that it's his fault that Zia died because he stole gold from the Red Wizards, which is why they went after him. With Holga's encouragement, the team comes up with a new plan to break into Forge's vault by using the staff to make their way inside. The team uses a portrait to open one portal as a carriage of Forge's treasures makes its way into Neverwinter for the start of the High Sun Games. While they manage to sneak in, the entrance to the portal gets blocked when the portrait falls face down on the floor. Edgin encourages them to proceed by improvising. Simon uses a brief illusion of Edgin playing a song to distract the guards, but it starts to go wrong when Simon gets his foot stuck. Once inside, Holga fights more guards while Simon tries once more to attune with the helmet. Elminster confronts him again and attempts to reject him once more, but Simon punches him, and this allows him to attune with the helmet. He uses his newfound magic capabilities to help fight the guards. Simon and Holga find the vault, but it is empty, making the team realize Forge moved his riches somewhere else. They, plus Doric, get incapacitated and captured. Edgin is tricked by Safina posing as Kira. When Forge comes in, he plans to have them all locked up, but Edgin suggests that Forge allow them to compete in the games, to which Safina agrees, but for the possibility that they will die there. When they are put out in the Colosseum, Doric mentions to the team that she saw the guards moving the riches to a boat, meaning that Forge is just trying to steal riches from the others attending the games. The event starts with the team competing alongside others as they are put through a treacherous maze filled with creatures and traps like the infamous gelatinous cube. While the other players are not very lucky, Doric comes up with a plan to allow her and her friends to teleport out of there. The heroes make it to the dock, where they find the boat with Forge's riches and the riches stolen by him. He brings Kira as he tries to make her think Edgin is going to run away again, but after Edgin explains himself, Forge shows his true colors to Kira by holding a knife to her throat so that the heroes may step back from the riches. Holga throws a potato at his face, causing him to let Kira go. She joins her father and his friends as they hop on the boat and steal the riches, with Simon using a spell to cause a wave of water to hit Forge. Kira forgives Edgin as they reconcile. Just as they are setting sail, the heroes witness a dark cloud forming in the sky as Safina is setting her plan into motion, which is to use the N-horn, the one that Edgin and Holga got arrested for stealing, to enslave all the attendees of the games as part of the Red Wizard army. The team makes their way back to Neverwinter to put a stop to Safina. While she succeeds in getting the members of the Neverwinter Council, the heroes return, and Simon uses the staff to make a portal from the boat to the hot air balloon, causing all the riches from the boat to spill out into the streets and causing the people to run out of the Colosseum, foiling Safina's plan. The Red Wizard catches the heroes and battles them, using her spell to get a large stone dragon to attack them while she uses other traps and tricks. The team bombards Safina with attacks before she seems to stop them using the same time-freezing spell she used against them before. She gloats about her victory until it turns out she was the one trick because Kira used a medallion that causes her to become invisible so that they can strap a magic-suppressing cuff on her as Simon countered her spell. Doric turns into her owlbear form to thrash Safina around before hurling her into a wall that crumbles and finally crushes her. While the team celebrates their victory, they find that Holga was mortally wounded in the fight, and she dies. Kira weeps over her, and Edgin realizes Holga was the closest thing Kira had to a mom growing up, so he decides to use the Tablet of Reawakening to revive Holga. The team joins the citizens to celebrate the end of the games and their forming of a new family. Meanwhile, Forge tries to run for it but is captured by Zen. Later on, Lord Never Richard Croxford reawakens since Safina is gone, and he awards the heroes medals for saving Neverwinter. Forge is imprisoned and tries to make an appeal for his pardon by telling his own tragic backstory, but the council doesn't care for it. He finds Jarnathan and attempts to fly out again, but the council made sure to move the meeting to a room with no windows, so Forge just charges into a wall. Midway through the credits, the last corpse that the team left alive asks for anyone to ask him questions so he can go back to being dead. Then the story ends. If you enjoyed this content and want more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like it, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below. Your support means a lot and helps the channel grow.